Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel. If you're new, make sure to subscribe, and if you're returning, thanks for coming back, and let's get right to it. So today we're deconstructing an Air Jordan 1 Low. The tools that I'm going to be using is an X-Acto knife and scissors. It's not too hard of a process. As you can see, all you got to really do, I previously cut the Nike sign off and the wings off, and I'm going to do a full-on time-lapse right after I talk about this. But as you can see, something like this, you just want to, the thread, you just cut it and it slowly comes up, you know, and there we go. We already cut like 4 threads. So it's not hard. All that you want to do, you want to take your time, because stuff like this, you could be cutting it, and you just cut right through your piece of leather, and now it's all messed up. So with this, you just want to take your time, but as I said, just use an X-Acto knife. So for the scissors, I'm going to be cutting along this line to cut out the bottom sole. So if it will focus in, you can see that line right there across my fingernail. So that's a little space between the sole and the leather. You want to get, you could probably just get an X-Acto knife, cut out a little seam right there. From there, get scissors, just cut it out, then you're good. You got a hollow shoe to work with. So from there, you just cut the top piece to the bottom. So Nike sign, cut it. This back tab, cut it. Well, what's top after that? Kind of, you know, the wings. So you cut the wings and the lace tabs, and then that will come off, and then you have the full-on side panel exposed, so then you'll cut that off. From there, I'll probably go to the toe, kind of mess with that, and then from here, you'll probably have to cut in half, just to take the pieces apart. Once you got that, then we're gonna place it all down on a mat, trace them out. I'll show you how to trace that out, and before you know it, you got a full-on pattern. So, you know, it's not the most accurate, but if you cut really clean and if you cut like really nice, then it will be accurate. So this is pretty much just all on taking your time, being patient. This is like, I mean, if you think about it, you'd rather invest, you know, another 30 minutes into cutting this compared to wasting a whole Jordan just because you weren't patient and you were wanting to cut super fast, and then you cut up the leather where now it's all deformed, and now you got to think, well, I think it was this curve and this curve, then you sew it out and you're like, gosh dang, it doesn't look good. So with that, you know, you just want to take your time. But you know, this is where we're at. Oh, and also, so there's going to be glue on the inside underneath the sole. As I think that would be the only place that there's glue on here. There's some glue underneath the panel as well. But when cutting this, you definitely want to be careful. You want to kind of get the Nike sign out of the way at first cutting that. And then this back panel, it's like all glued in there. So you want to take your time, and then you're going to slowly peel it off. But you know, that's just a rundown of this. So I'm going to do a time lapse, and let's just get right to it. Real quick, cool merch, link in the bio. Go check it out, go cop it. I got these cool ones as well as bleach ones. You don't want to miss out, so make sure to go cop it. Now let's get back to cutting. So it's all cut up now, so let's kind of go over it. Liner, pretty self-explanatory, everything's pretty much stitched to this. You got the cloth material that your sock connects to, flip it up, and then pretty much the liner, all the liner on the inside. The sole, you saw me scissor, cut that out. Side panels, pretty self-explanatory. I kept them connected, but you don't have to. When you trace them out, they're going to be disconnected, but for now I'm just keeping them like this to keep them together. Also, if you could see, the factory, they get this piece of material, and if you could see it folded over, this thin like leather, you can see it's thin. They stitch it and glue it onto this and then fold it apart, so it looks like it's a normal piece of leather when really it's just leather that is folded over another piece of material. You got Nike signs, self-explanatory. You got boom, one on the side, boom, one on the other side. You got the toe. This is a toe, or I guess you call it the toe. As you can see, this is a material inside that when it gives it the shape of the toe. So when it sits like this, it's all rounded off. So that material inside is what gives the shape of the front. The toe box right here, you can see that they stitched some material to it or glued some material on the bottom of it. So as you can see, you could open it up, but I mean, this is, I guess, just double layered. All the thin leather has like double layer to it, but that's it. Heel tab, got some foam on the back, some glue and stuff like that, but I mean, as you can see, stitched on. That's the back of the stitching right there, but I mean, pretty much that. There you go. So the back tab, you stitch it right across there, you flip it over, so then you can't see the thread, then you, oh, come on. You stitch the bottom part, so then it's pretty much all seamless, and you don't have to see any of the crappy stitching. We got the lace loops on the side, you know, lace loops. This is thin material as well that is folded and glued onto a thicker piece of material, so that's what gives it its sturdiness. Wings, you got some foam on the inside. I don't use that, but wings, that's pretty much it. And then I guess you could call it like the back upper tab or the heel tab, not the heel tab, but I guess the back pad tab. As you can see, the foam, this is the only really part that there's a padding foam on the inside. So that is it. So as you can see, cutting all this material up, it was fairly easy. It's just time consuming, you know. I got all these materials now. So what you do is you trace them out and you make a shoe. It sounds a lot easier than it actually is, but I mean, it's literally, you just trace it out and you make a pattern to remake the shoe. And I'll be showing that in a future video, so let me know if you'd like to see that, how I make my patterns. So now you saw how I I create the forms to make a pattern. So if you want to see me how to make the patterns, then let me know in the comments. But as of now, we pretty much cut up a low Jordan Air 1. So from here, you pretty much just start tracing it out and you stitch it all together. You know if you have to get different things, for example, if you cut this piece out and you have this piece out, well, then you trace this piece out, and then you put it right over, and boom, look at that. Obviously it's a lot easier because it's already lined up, but if you keep the whole bottom lined up in a straight line, because you don't want to sew it on like that, then it doesn't work. But I mean, if you line up the bottom, make it all even, it will come out nice and easy. But that's pretty much that. Thanks for watching this. Hopefully you learned something. As you can see, cut all these materials up, use an X-Acto knife, scissors, not too hard. You could go get some cheap shoes from your local store, go get some cheap shoes from Goat or something, some used ones that are super cheap, and practice cutting it. But hopefully you enjoyed this. Make sure to like, subscribe, and check out all my other videos, and see you later.